We literally sat and signed that contract, and then we rode our motorcycles to the Starbucks and said, what the fuck did we just do? We signed a contract, we didn't read it. That's how dumb we were.
Hello. Welcome to Tuckered Out with me. I'm Tucker. I hope everyone has been having a lovely summer. It's been nonstop here for us with many trips, many flight delays, many camps, more slumber parties, and a few good naps. It's been a fantastic summer. As always, been so good to unplug. I've been podding a little bit here and there, but now I'm officially back. And I could not be more excited to come back to the pod with this amazing guest. Chef Curtis Duffy is an American chef and restaurateur known for the Chicago-based restaurants Ever and Grace. Among his various accolades are 5 Michelin stars and a James Beard Award. His memoir, Fireproof, follows his rise to becoming one of the world's best chefs, despite insane trauma, starting with the murder-suicide deaths of both his parents. Honestly, his culinary accolades are insane, but learning about his philanthropic efforts recently and how he approaches life is as impressive. By the time I was done talking to him, I honestly believe that this guy is a very special soul. His memoir is mind-blowing. I finished reading it a few weeks ago, and I got to go to Chicago last weekend and check out one of his restaurants after, which was amazing. And Chicago will always be one of my favorite places I've ever lived. You guys, please check out his memoir, which is out now, called Fireproof. Memoir. Am I saying that right? Memoir? I don't know. Anyways, Fireproof, Memoir of a Chef. It is damn good. I think I binged it in 2 days. And please enjoy my interview with the very epic Chef Curtis Duffy. I finished your memoir in literally 2 days.
Wow, thank you.
It was so good. It was just so, I don't know you, but I feel like I know you now. But it feels like you were just talking through the book.
Yeah, it really was, because that whole process is that therapeutic. Having the conversation, well, one, it was so easy because it was one of my best friends who wrote the book, Jeremy. And it's so easy to talk to him. And he's such a great interviewer that he's asking the right questions at the right time, which leads to digging deep, digging for other stories. And then those other stories lead to other things and things that you completely forget about. And they pop up and we go down this rabbit hole of all these stories. And it was exactly right. It was just so easy to talk about.
Well, I think it makes sense you literally opened your heart up to the world. So to have your best friend kind of executing that makes sense, right? I mean, from the book, obviously, is the only way I know you. And then the little bit that Bindu told me about you, you're a quieter guy. You're not like this outwardly crazy extrovert. To put that out there must have been like a holy shit moment.
So that we had the documentary For Grace, and that kind of just skimmed the surface. And that was one of the reasons why I wanted to write the book, was because it just skimmed the surface. And there was so much more to my life story that even though I'm only 50, I thought it was the appropriate time to let some of this go. And I felt like writing this would be give me the opportunity to kind of like finally put a lot of these things to rest, even though mentally I've dealt with them. This still just felt like an unclosed chapter, if you will. And this kind of gave me the opportunity to kind of really just put it in a weird term, like put the book on the shelf and it can stay there. There's a place for it to go to rest. And it was like closing the chapter. So it was really therapeutic to get some of these stories out into the world.
I would assume the biggest form of therapy, really.
Yeah, because even like through the questions, you dig deep into some of those stories, but then it puts a lot of thought into it when you're not really trying to think about it.
Well, when do you have time?
Well, yeah, that's true. And
like, who has time to reflect on their lives? It's
like,
so hard.
Who wants to do that? So
yeah.
I find myself a lot of times during my travels in the air, sitting on airplanes, having these weird remembrances of my childhood. And I would get off the plane and the first person I would call would be Jeremy and say, I forgot about this happened to me. This came up during my flight. Let's talk about it. And sometimes we'd laugh about it. Sometimes I'd cry about the story, and everything in between. So a lot of those stories made the book.
It's amazing you realize all this stuff without like any ayahuasca or like it's just stuff coming back. Which
Yeah.
I guess I really wanted to ask you quickly too, because I know you have 2 kids, 2 stepkids, married the love of your life, which congrats on all of that. I have 2 daughters, 11 and 8. And when I think about my podcast alone, which is, it's doing well, it's fine. I think about the stuff I put out there and the stuff that's going to be kind of out there forever. There's times where I'm like, I obviously didn't have to go through what you had to go through, but everyone has their trauma, and I worry and think about, oh my God, they're going to hear this one day, I think, but also kind of cool to have mom's diary. Do all 4 of your kids kind of know everything or understand everything now? I know they're older.
My 2 kids, I sat them down at some point, I think when they were, in their early teens, and kind of told them the story. Actually, I was right around the time that Grace came out, because I didn't want them to find out like my story through, a friend of theirs that had watched the movie, or a teacher that said, oh, I saw your father's movie. And so I wanted to make sure that I was the first one to tell them what had happened. And, we had moments of telling the story, crying on the couch together, and it was a very special moment. But yeah, my stepchildren know as well, so they know the story. There's no secrets at all hidden there, and it is kind of like a diary. It's also one of the reasons why I wanted it there, because it goes into further detail than just having a quick conversation with them to fully understand, and maybe it is a way for them to kind of connect back to me in a way if they want to read it and understand a little bit more of my upbringing without having to like have in-depth conversations, because sometimes that's hard for them to bring up and talk about. And
I think writing is probably the best way for anyone to understand who you are, as a person, no matter how many conversations you have, and you're always going to try to edit that when you're talking. But writing is just kind of like vomiting it all out, and it's out there and you can't take it back.
No, you can't take it back. And it's one of the things that Jeremy and I spoke about in the very beginning, was to be like very brutally honest and making sure that if we're telling a certain story, that, I'm not sugarcoating it. It is what it is. And some feelings are going to get hurt, and some people are going to be pissed at me. Family members are going to hate me, but it's through my eyes. It's through what I felt and saw in my childhood and my adulthood. So I don't regret putting everything in there that's in there. It is what it is.
I mean, again, I feel like I know you through the book, but from what I read, it felt like you were honest, but it felt pretty balanced as well. I think you have been trying your whole life to see both sides of things, which you've had to. And so from someone that barely knows you, that was my takeaway. And I know there's themes of, breaking the cycle of abuse, starting over, the meaning of family, understanding suicide. One of my favorite parts was at the end of the book when you talked about balancing toxic abuse by doing good in the world. And the best revenge, I tell my kids this right now already, because my 11-year-old's going through 5th grade drama. I'm like, the best revenge is success. It's not,
Absolutely.
It's not fighting. It's not fist. It's like, we're Hindu, so I'm like, nonviolence is like a pillar. There's no need to fight like that way. Fight back by just being a badass. That's the best way.
Yeah. Hurts every time.
It hurts every time. It hurts every time. And so I've heard a lot of your interviews, and I'm sure you've talked about this many, many times. I did want to start off by letting my audience know the book opens up reliving the day your father, I guess, kidnapped your mom after they got divorced and committed a murder-suicide when you were 19 years old. And I'll let the audience know more about that by getting the book. But this basically defined, understandably, the rest of your life in many ways. And as we're going through the memoir, it helped understand how mom and dad are always a big part of all of our lives, but how they were a big part of your life afterwards, these next 30 years after, they were gone. Your dad, who they call the bear, biker, large guy, battled mental health his whole life. I know his father was abusive as well. When I was listening to all your interviews, and maybe I missed it, he obviously had this enormous amount of energy and passion that went the wrong way. But I do wonder, do you think if he had used his energy, that passion, whatever, all that fire that he had, do you think he would have been a good cook or a chef?
Absolutely. I think it was just misdirected and misguided in a way. Like anybody who has that much built up frustration or anger and not really know how to let it out other than the way he did, I would think if he was able to channel that energy somewhere else. I mean, he was an incredible artist. He was an incredible mechanic. Like the things that he did that I saw as a young child with that only I could think that came from a passionate place, which was drag cars and motorcycles and tattoo artist and just drawing and doing the things that he loved to do. Like it was incredible to watch as a young kid. If you could put all of that energy into that, I couldn't imagine he would have been untouchable.
Yeah. I mean, you sense it throughout the book, no matter kind of what you went through with him, you dedicated the book to them, him and your mom, and the love you have. And I'm sure there's other stuff you struggle with when you think about it, but the fact that you have, maybe is the word forgiven, I'm not sure, but there's this deep, immense love for him, no matter what you went through, which I feel like takes a special soul to kind of do that.
I'm getting emotional.
Sorry.
No,
you can also tell me to fuck. We're friends, by the way, through Jay. And tell me to fuck off whenever you want.
It is a full circle moment, right? It is 30 years of emotions, if you will. It's 30 years of still trying to deal with that type of thing. Even though you do deal with the majority of it, you still have all those emotions that you go through, the sadness, the anger, every emotion you can imagine, right? You still go through it. And at the end of the day, like I'm back in a place where it's like pure love and happiness towards them both, even though, the past is the past. I can't change the past. It is made me who I am today, good or bad. It's made me who I am. And they're a huge part of my success because the lessons that I learned from them while they were alive and the lessons that I take and have learned through them not being here also have shaped who I am today. So I'm incredibly thankful and joyful and happy that I got to spend, 18 years of my life with them, but I can't change it, but I'm happy who I am for sure.
You have, in Sanskrit, which is the old language in India, it's called Shanti. It's a peace. I feel like you have reached in some sort of way with them, which is kind of the ultimate goal in life, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And then your mom. What I did, I read the memoir. I know there was a bunch of pictures in there, and I didn't look at the pictures until about 10 minutes ago. I just kind of wanted that imprinted in my mind. And your mom, Jan's picture. 15. I became a mom at 34 and 37, and I'm still having a hard time. So it's a crazy ride, the most amazing ride. I am so thankful to be a mom. But when I looked at that picture, I was like, wow, 15. And I know your biological mom dropped you off at her doorstep, and she was dating your dad at the time and became your stepmom. But the fact that she accepted it and was your mom. At 15, I was a disaster at 15. I was like getting arrested at a Depeche Mode concert at 15. I don't even know what I was doing. Yeah, I saw that picture of her literally right before you logged on, and I was like, wow, these pictures are very powerful. I'm so glad that you had that in there because you have these images in your head. But she was just a regular kid.
Yeah, 15, yeah. I couldn't imagine. I'm just like you. I was in trouble. I was doing God knows what at 15. I wasn't there's no way in how I could have been a parent. First of all, to somebody else's child, and then not even to my own either. The thought of like how strong she would have had to been and the incredible support that she got from her family to help, raise and get us to where we were, it takes a special person,
yeah.
especially.
That's a mom. Moms are powerful.
Yeah. Special. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
I have an older brother. And so, I know you've talked about your siblings quite a bit. I think siblings actually could or do have as much of an impact as parents do, a lot, because at the end of the day, we all know that's your sibling is the one that shares the most DNA with you more than anyone, more than your children, more than anyone. And that means something. Again, from the book, it just seemed like you always had a different demeanor than your siblings. There was this quote that you said, it was at the end of the book, and I was writing notes today. I'm like, this quote is amazing because it seems like you said, and this was in regards to something else that happened down the line. You said blowing up on some asshole won't turn the situation around. And that was regarding something else. But I wrote that down and I was thinking, wow, like after everything he has been through and he still thinks like that, where did that come from? And I answered it to myself. I assumed you just were trying to learn not to be what your dad was at certain points.
Yeah, I mean, he did write in one of the letters to me is try not to walk in my footsteps. And that's a great example of me listening and trying to not walk in his footsteps, because so many times watching him go from 0 to 100 on me, my brothers, my sisters, on somebody, a complete stranger, was common, so try not to walk in his footsteps as he continued to write that you'd be in a world of pain and hurt.
And he was aware, right? Like he even tried to get healthier. He got on meds,
Yep.
I mean, all of this stuff, which makes me even more sad. But as life goes, you get sent angels. And so I saw pictures of Ruth. I think it was Ruth Snyder, your home ec teacher, Kathy John
and Ruth.
Saunders.
John Saunders, yeah.
And so I had a question about John. I know he passed, but he gave you your first bottle of wine. And
He did.
I believe you haven't opened it up yet.
I lost somehow I don't have it anymore.
Oh, no.
I don't know where it is. It really could be in storage still somewhere.
Okay.
But I couldn't find it recently when I was looking for it, unfortunately.
It'll pop up, I feel like.
But he did. Maybe I did drink it and I completely forgot. I don't know. Maybe. You never know.
Yeah. Well, I do have a whole segment on the part sex, drugs, and rock and roll part. But I was just going to ask you because in the book you had said you still had it, and I was just so curious. Obviously, you got married, and life has been amazing for you now. But when would you open that if you find it again? What moment? Like a daughter's wedding?
I don't even know if I would ever open it.
Okay.
I don't. For me, it's overdated at this point. It's probably outdated and probably would taste terrible, but maybe not. I don't know. I would probably just keep it because was sentimental to me. He was a very special influence on my career early on. I mean, this was a history teacher for my last 2 years of high school who would send me to the library every single day. I didn't sit a day in his history class at all. He would send me directly to the library with my own homework of tell me the 5 mother sauces, tell me who Escoffier is, tell me who Paul Bocuse is. That was my homework. While everybody else was learning history, I was learning about cuisine and about the things that I knew that I was going to do in my career, in my life. And he was so passionate because not only was he so into food, like he also worked at many restaurants as well. And he still did part-time because he loved it. He loved the passion. He loved the
super cool guy. Like he just
very cool guy.
Yeah. A history teacher and loves food. And
yeah,
I think he had a garden, I feel like maybe.
Yeah, probably.
No, he seemed really, really cool. And these are the people that kind of opened up the world for you.
Yeah. At least encouraged it when they would see, it's the same when I see a young cook step into the kitchen that has something. It's like you want to really like grab onto that because it's very rare to see. And when you see it, you want to capitalize on it in a way that you want to better them. You want to make sure that they're taking the right steps, or at least what you think should be the right steps into their success.
Yeah. Well, I have a note before we move on to the chef life, but I choked up 3 times in your book, and I'll tell you what that was. But the other part of it was, as kids, we want our parents' approval. I know you wanted your dad's. I love that you talked about knives and how important that was in the kitchen. And I love, there was a part where you mentioned that he engraved your name on the knives. Did you know he had approved and was proud of you by then, or was that a surprise? 'Cause I didn't know. I didn't get that part. Was whether it was like I'm going to do this for you, or
You spend so much money on knives, and back then it was a lot of money. Even though it was $100, doesn't seem like a lot of money. Back then it was $100 into something that I knew that I was going to be part of my career for as long as I wanted to pursue it. And I guess that was a way to protect it from, I guess people stealing it or
yeah,
whatever.
you were saying that, yeah.
And, I had that happen a couple of times throughout my career where knives would come up missing. And so the engraving was just, it was a nice touch from him to ensure that it was mine.
It feels like just kind of like a big, like, thumbs up, right? Like, I don't know, maybe not, but it felt like, okay, but when you cooked for your parents for the first time, you were saying they didn't really enjoy your penne.
Well, I don't know if they didn't enjoy it. Yeah, I guess they
maybe they didn't know how to react. Maybe they didn't know.
I mean, it was certainly something they probably had never had before. Well, I know they'd never had it before because it was new to me. Certainly was new to them for sure. And that's not what they ate. It was very, very just steak potato style.
Well, you didn't really love the food that you grew up on.
No, I hated it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so many years and so many hours of sitting at the kitchen table like this, just didn't want to eat anything. And
was it a lot of fast food? Was it a lot of like...
No, it wasn't fast food. My mom actually cooked a lot at home. It just wasn't good. Okay. At least I didn't think it was,
I'm scared my kids are going to say this about me. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the repertoire was just almost the same. It was like you could always say like Thursdays were going to be like pizza burgers and stuffed peppers and just...
which is your nightmare, I have a question on later, the green bell peppers.
No, I can't stand it.
I know. No, I know. Obviously, your parents' death was so heartbreaking. And then you left Ohio, obviously, but I don't know if this is a cheesy podcast question, but like I was thinking about the chapters in Ohio and your time there. I know you go back for quite a bit for work, and you get your vegetables from there, right?
Yeah, and there's a farm just north of Columbus in Cleveland, Ohio, that we buy a lot of our stuff from.
Yeah. When you think about Ohio, what's the words that come to mind now?
I still feel hatred. Not hatred. A strong dislike to the, I guess, just the area I grew up and spent the most time in. Because mostly it's nobody's fault. It was just the darkest time of my life, and I guess nobody wants to put thought of being back into that place. And every time I go back there, I can't even believe I lived there, and it's just not a place I want to be, I guess.
Have you taken the kids there at all, or?
Well, their grandma still lives there in north of Columbus, so they're back there every summer. I just choose, not to really go back. I have some family there. My sister and my brother's still there. Yeah. And every time I make it back to Ohio, I always try to see them, but it's been a while since I've been there.
Yeah, I can't imagine. And this, again, by the way, please, Curtis, tell me if you don't want to talk about it. My last question on family was about your biological mom, Sue, and her coming back. Understandably, you don't want to talk to her. And I know when your brother surprised you by having her at his wedding. The one thing I was, when I was reading the book, you hate confrontation. I know you've said that, but you've had to deal with that throughout your journey and your career. But it seemed like you always were trying to mend things with people, even though they didn't deserve it, from my point of view. Again, tell me to fuck off, because family is a big deal. Why not your mom?
For me, when I met my birth mother for the very first time, it was a surprise. My brother had actually brought her to a place I was working, and he came inside, found me, and said, "Hey, I have somebody out here I want you to meet." And I had no clue that he was even in contact with her. I mean, I had to have been 16 maybe. And I went outside, and there she was. And, the first thing she tried to do was give me $20. And I was like, I don't want the money. Keep it. Like, it was very off-putting, and it was a very awkward interaction. I mean, could you imagine, 18 years without having any contact with this woman, and all of a sudden now she's just trying to hand you $20, like that makes up everything for the last 17 years. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell? No thanks.
It's kind of, I mean, I was a little sad when I read that.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
remember feeling a very sad feeling for a few days because I didn't know how to tell my mom because I knew it was going to break her heart. I felt like it was, even though I was put in the position, I felt like I was betraying her because she has given me everything my whole life, where this other woman has given me nothing other than bringing me into the world. So my full loyalty is still to Jan, who I still consider my mother. That is my mother. It will always be my mother. And I choose not to have that relationship with Sue because my total loyal and dedication to my mother. That's why.
It was actually, so I had three parts in your book where I'm like, okay, don't cry. The kids are right here.
I couldn't imagine giving up my children. I couldn't imagine it not even for a split second. I don't care what situation you're in. I can't imagine it. I couldn't imagine it.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way. There's no way to even understand it. Unless it's heartbreaking. The only reason why I'm like, again, I've already told you, you can tell me to fuck off. I just wonder, obviously things weren't good with your father. I mean, was it that much desperation? Was it that, like, I don't know. Again, I'm with you. I can't even imagine doing that no matter what age. I just wonder, like, what was going through. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm smart enough to know, like, there are two sides to the story, and I'm sure she has a side to that story and would probably love to share that side with me. Just not. Yeah. I'm just not. I'm not there.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever be there, honestly.
I think that's great that you know that, though.
Yeah.
You're not, that, and you're at peace with it, and that's all that really matters. And so,
yeah.
But yeah, the three choke up moments was when actually the second time she saw you at the wedding and she was giving you money again.
Yeah.
And she gave you Walmart coupons. And I was like, wow, she really doesn't know what else to do.
No.
She does not know what else. Like, that's the only thing she can think of. And that made me just sad. And then this is not sad, this is emotional when at the end, when you're talking about your stepdaughter working with you in the kitchen. I don't know, when my daughter helps with the podcast, I just got emotional about that.
Yeah.
Like, this is really, really, really sweet. And then the third one was is it Omar Santu?
Omar Cantu?
Cantu. Yeah. When you had mentioned he had committed suicide.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what? What just happened? Like, no, things were going fine. Anyways, those were my three moments. I was like, wait, what the fuck? This is not happening again. Like, no, give this guy a break. Give this guy a break. Yeah, I was yelling at your book. Okay, so chef life, you end up going to Ohio State, working for Chef Souza. I know before that you were at JVS. The takeaway from that I got was that you were not told no. JVS and is it Chef Souza? Am I saying it right?
Yeah, John Souza. Yeah,
John Souza were like, go. Just, I guess maybe they knew you wanted to be imaginative. I don't know what it was. I just wonder if that was kind of the beginnings of your career. If they hadn't been like that, would have it changed the trajectory? Or
I believe so. Yeah, I think not so much JVS because there was school and it was we had to do things by the books. But now we're talking working for John Souza. Now we're in a professional setting and it's a business. And he allowed me to explore my creative side. And I think that's so important as a young cook, because I think when you're able to be creative and express yourself, you get more involved with the business side, where you get more involved with the place you're working at, I guess. You care more. And especially if you start to see like those items that you creatively thought of make their way to the menu, there's like, you're more connected to it. You're more you're just more connected to the whole process of that and the process of being there. And That's why I had absolutely no problem and a love of staying there till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning when no one else was around, because that was my creative way. Also, I didn't want to go home. It was lonely at home. There was nothing there. So I'd rather have just been there.
And you were out, I think, during Ohio State days, right? Where you're working with him. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was at school. I was at a apprenticeship program.
And then you moved to Chicago and work with the Charlie Trotter. I'm sure I'm missing a lot of details in the middle, but I know I can't keep you for 2 hours. So I have 6 pages of notes, by the way, but moved to Chicago and worked with the Charlie Trotter, which is a defining moment for you because you had a chapter or 2, I believe, on him. And then I'm skipping a lot of stuff, but then you go to, I think, Trio, Alinea, and then Avenues, which is where you earn your first Michelin. The one thing I appreciated was the history of the Michelin stars, because people like me who are dumb and don't know anything, I'm like, oh, I didn't realize it came to the US so much. So it was born in Europe, which I kind of knew, in France, and came to the US much later. Obviously, we know it's a big deal. I didn't know it could be taken away. I think that was the first thing I was like, what? Like,
absolutely,
so you can't keep the trophy? Yeah, that kind of
No,
stuff.
you have to earn them every single year.
Which I guess makes sense in the restaurant industry. It was kind of like a, oh, and then like a duh, I guess moment. The other thing you mentioned was that the James Beard Award was first in the US before Michelin. So I wonder, is that still way heavier for US chefs versus the Michelin, or is it Michelin is like the epitome?
Well, I think the Michelin Guide, because it is worldwide, is considered the pinnacle of cuisine, if you will.
Yeah.
The James Beard Awards are, just US only.
Okay.
So
yeah, I guess that's
broken into regions, of course, but the Michelin is worldwide and has always been. Like I said, before it came to the US, it was only in Europe and surrounding countries. Those were all like the very famous chefs back then, like the 3 Michelin star chefs, everything that you desire to be as a young cook.
And you don't have to answer this because I know you have a lot of chef friends in Europe. Do the chefs in Europe do they look down upon chefs in the US, or are chefs in the US kind of up to speed with kind of what the Europeans are doing, and even the Asians?
Yeah, I think I don't know there's probably some that look down. Sure, I'm sure there's still some of that. Yeah. I'm thinking of the French. I actually lived in France for a year, so I'm just thinking maybe them. I love our people. I love them, but So I have 2 issues with you that I have to let you know. And your favorite chefs, you had a list of your favorite chefs. There was no women on there. So you got to name one of your favorite female chefs. And then I got to know, I'm South Asian. I'm Indian. My parents are from Bombay. I got to know about Indian chefs. Indian chefs. That's great questions.
Okay. All right. That's cool.
We might have to come back to that one.
All right. I'll let you think about it. I'm just like, there's no female. And then I was like, just curious about your love for Indian food.
No, there's actually an amazing chef, Annie Pick, I don't remember what country she's in. I think she's in France. 3 Michelin star chef. She's an incredible chef. Carmen Rosquilada is another one one in Spain that is doing incredible work as well. There's plenty of female great chefs out there.
I just didn't see the list, so I was like, I got to call him out. Why not?
That's all right. And there's a young Indian guy actually here in the city that's doing an amazing modern Indian cuisine. I haven't physically tasted it. I've only seen photos of it in the restaurant. He's got a 1 Michelin star. He's doing amazing things. I still haven't found time to get over there, but I'll get over there soon.
I believe a South Indian chef just won the James Beard Award this year from South India. His restaurant in New York is called Semma. Semma. Just, throwing it out there if you go next time. I want to see.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I've been. It's amazing. Obviously for me, that's my mom's food. So
yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's it. It's home. All the turmeric in the world. The Bourdain meeting, it was great that you talked about that. I guess my quick question on him is, he's been open book. He's obviously had his own book and his shows. Was there anything surprising about meeting him, or is he as you think he is?
No, it was just a really brief interaction with him.
Okay.
Probably maybe a 30-second conversation at the time. And he was having dinner. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, it was great. Honestly, I think that was right around the time he let the books.
Right.
I think it was right around that same
Right
time.
around time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he had come in and you had given him a cheese plate
Cheese
of some
course,
sort,
yeah.
cheese course
Yeah.
of some sort, which is really cool. So I'm going to move on to Grace and Ever. Again, let me know timing wise.
Okay.
When I was reading about Grace, I'm still that lawyer. I'm like, God, all these lawsuits. So the first thing I did, I was like, is it Dolos? How do you pronounce the nickname? Dolos?
Yeah, Dolos. Yeah.
Dolos. I was like, who is this guy? For some reason, Curtis, I don't know why. I thought it was an Indian dude. I was like, it definitely sounds like a shady Indian guy. So I was like researching. I don't know why. I'm like racist against my own people. It's fine. So I was looking him up. I was trying to figure out who it was. Anyways, I figured out who it was. And I was like, okay, never mind. But I thought it was this one guy I had met in Chicago that was so shady. Jay knows him. He was always sleazy and just gross and disgusting with all of us girls. And I was like, I feel like it was him for some reason, but it wasn't, thank God. But still, this guy was not
Maybe
great.
they're related.
They are. They look alike. I was like, that might be his weird Indian cousin. I don't know. So I know Grace was basically your baby, your masterpiece. Grace was yours and your partner's, is it Muser?
Michael Muser, yeah.
Michael Muser. And you mentioned in the book about signing with this guy who's the investor and just having your spidey senses, which I can imagine you have after everything you've gone through. I assume you just wanted to happen so badly you ignored it all.
Exactly.
You must have known.
Everybody at that young age who's hungry enough and they have a vision, they want to do what they want to do, and someone can give them that path to do it. You're young and dumb, and you take that opportunity and you don't worry about it. And that's what we did. Signed the agreement and continued on working towards what we wanted to achieve.
Yeah. And when you're reading it as an audience member, you're like, you didn't get lawyers to sign. Like, what?
Yeah.
Are you guys doing?
I know. Trust me, we literally sat and signed that contract, and then we rode our motorcycles to the Starbucks and said, what the fuck did we just do?
Yeah.
We signed a contract. We didn't read it. That's how dumb we were.
Yeah.
And then we went back the next day and tried to change it. And he wasn't having any of that. And it was very quickly, he made it very apparent that we could tear this up and everything just stops.
Yeah.
So we chose to move forward.
Well, your lesson is going to help a lot of future chefs, I think.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. So. And just letting the audience know, basically, Grace got 3 Michelin stars 4 years in a row. You guys went through hell and back with is he considered the GM? Is that what it is?
Who is that?
Dolos?
No, he was
GM,
he was
just
the investor.
Just the
investor.
The owner.
Yeah, he was the owner.
So you guys got 3 Michelin stars 4 years in a row dealing with a hellish owner, which just right there is amazing. And this was your baby to the point where you got Grace tattooed on you. Am I correct? Okay, right there. There it is.
Sure do.
And so I can't imagine how heartbreaking it was to have that all break down, which is all in the book. I don't want to say any regrets because that's a stupid podcast question, but happy memories now when you look back?
I was telling this to somebody yesterday, actually. I have no regrets with that restaurant. It was such a huge learning curve. It was such a life lessons. Yeah, we got our ass burned and raked over the coals and whatever you want to call it. But at the end of it, you flip to the other side of it, and where I am today, again, it's life lessons. You could choose to take those lessons and not get back up after you've been beat down like that, or you stand back up and continue moving forward. And that's what I wanted to do was, learn from what I gained there, learn from the mistakes I made there, learn from, what not to do and what to do, and move forward and be a better person, better chef, better restaurateur.
I mean, it's kind of like a fucked up education in a way. Like you are educated.
It is. The world's full of sharks. No matter what business you're in, look at the music business. Like sharks everywhere.
Yeah.
But even to this day, these people still sign the contracts.
They sign the fucking
They
contracts.
still sign it.
Yeah.
And then 5 years, 10 years down the road, they're bitching about it. Well, this is the same thing in the food world.
You know what it is? It's really the beauty of youth. Sometimes I wish I was young and dumb again and not thinking so much. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, God damn it. I'm so tired of overthinking stuff.
I know. Being an adult is hard.
Being adult is hard. God. So obviously Grace shut down, and now Ever, which is, I think you defined Ever as the pinnacle of an experience. I'm actually going to be visiting, I think it's called Canvas in a few weeks. I don't think you're there, but I'm going to be visiting.
I am there.
Oh, okay.
That is part of me.
Okay. I don't think you're there. So I'm coming August 1st weekend. Bindu and I are going to come in for a drink at Canvas, I believe.
Oh, so you're going to after then?
I think your agents or someone is going to, I just asked them if I can come in for a drink. So one of them. After,
yeah, so we have Ever, of After, which is the cocktail lounge, cocktail bar.
Right. Okay.
And then we have the Canvas by Ever, which is, the Canvas is a large event space.
Right.
So you're probably going through After to have a cocktail.
Right.
For sure.
Right. Okay. If you're free, we'll be there. I might, we're going to call Jay and Bindu and a few other people. So would love to see you. I was laughing because you were talking about building Ever and just the pain of dealing with things like HVAC. I just paid $20,000 for an HVAC at my house. And I was like, yeah, the fucking HVAC suck. Like, it's
Yeah,
just,
they do.
all this stuff sucks. But your attention to details, like the blood red countertops, which I know you didn't end up doing. I'm really excited one day, hopefully, to come to Ever, because I'm vegetarian. I've never had meat in my life. And that you have all these amazing vegetarian options, because a lot of times still at these high-end restaurants, I'm like, okay. I mean, usually it's fine. But the fact that you love vegetables so much is very exciting for me.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of our dishes are focused solely on vegetables. These day and age, you can't just take the meat product off the dish and then serve that as a vegetarian option. Like, that's been done forever. Like you have to be creative about, like,
yes.
And you know, vegetables are so versatile that they're a lot more interesting than a cut of meat that, you know, you can do 10 things with. You know, you could do 100 things with carrots, you know.
Yeah. I know. Carrots are so good. Carrots and beets. Not bell peppers, I promise, but
no,
carrots and beets. Yeah, I've never actually had it. The only one time I tried it, my husband and I went to Japan. The market, what's it called? The fish market. They closed it down now.
Oh, Tzatziki market.
Tzatziki market. And he was like, we're here, just have a bite. And I was like, oh God.
Sushi? Yeah.
So I had it, and then I downed an entire bottle of Sapporo. Because I was like, okay, there's Finding Nemo in my stomach. Then I was like, oh God, like bad karma. And I went through my whole Hindu guilt. And anyways, that was the only time I had it.
So you don't eat fish either? No meat, no fish?
No. Started off as a religious thing with my parents. And then I think after a while, you know, you just, I don't crave it or anything. And now it's more, I don't know if I'm religious. I define myself as Hindu, but to me, again, by the way, my kids eat it. I allow my kids to eat it. My husband eats it. I more feel like meat. I feel like it's an ego thing. Like, we're not better than animals. Like, why are we allowed to eat? I don't know. I have this whole thing, but I'm also very much like, do what you got to do. Like, I am allowing my kids to, it's my own thing, and I'm giving them a choice. And also the earth and blah, blah, blah. But anyways, I'm very excited that you have vegetarian options. The quick question I had on Ever, the menu paper. Were you able to get expensive menu paper that you had a hard time getting at Grace?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called, well, we call it milk paper.
Okay, got it.
It's, let's actually have some here.
Oh, that's exciting.
It's just white paper, but the texture of it is really special.
Yeah.
Very special. Very velvety, soft.
And people can take it home.
People take it home. I'll sign the menus for them. They'll take it home. For me, it's like the things that the guests touch are the things that are tangible for the guests. Those are the things that were very important for building the restaurant. You know, the tabletops have a very velvety, we decided not to do linen, napkins, things like that. So the tables had to be special, and the tabletops are like this velvety feeling. They're matted black, but it brings a full focus in on the food. And, you know, the stemware and the silverware and all those things that a guest would walk through the restaurant and put their hands on are very important that they have a sense of luxuriness to them.
Yeah. No, I'm very excited to one day try it out. I just wanted to round this up before I'll do a really quick. It's almost an hour, so I don't want to take too much of your time. I had a whole 2 other sections, but I know, things with Chef Souza, John Souza, Trotter, Dalos, the evil Indian guy that in my head. These are chefs and people you've worked with, didn't end like you wanted to. Is there one that stings more for you to this day, or is it kind of you're at peace?
I think John Souza
Okay.
might be that one, because I spent my most time with John Souza, 6+ years.
Yeah.
And, even though I still am connected to his wife in a way.
Yeah.
Not every once in a while.
She
but
came to one of your things, right? One of your awards.
I've had contact with her. I've also had contact with John Souza. We were trying to do a dinner a few years ago that celebrated kind of chefs that I had worked for and people that I had, I don't even know how to say it, have huge amount of respect for, that I just wanted to show appreciation for them. So John Souza was one of them. Another chef, Regan Coivisto, which is a great friend of mine. And a handful of Chicago chefs. I was trying to do a dinner, and John was the only one that was not able to make it. So I didn't feel right doing it. Maybe eventually it'll happen. I don't know. I'd love to have him back in my life. I do know, at least I was told, that he watches from afar. I'd like to make him proud as well, because he had given me so much, not only personal, but professionally.
Yeah.
It was such a strong foundation of my early career, so.
I think we know as we're getting older, I'm 45 now, like the childhood and that foundation, those early years, there's really nothing more powerful. That impact, I mean, obviously parents and siblings, but the people that come across your life. You can never really let that go. And so Absolutely. I hope it happens for you.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah. I know you mentioned your personality of your cuisine is, you say it's thoughtful, progressive.
Sure.
And your PR team was trying to think of other terms. So I was just Googling stuff on ChatGPT for you. And I thought, okay, I found one. Instead of thoughtful, progressive, how about evolutionary innovator?
Interesting. Yeah.
Okay. Just throwing it out there. I'm trying to make it into your next book, basically. And the other thing that I wanted to mention, the one thing, again, as I'm getting older now and reflecting back on things, and I've had a lot of up and down. My career has been all over the place, but the only thing I get jealous of anymore, it's not people that with billionaires or not models, none of that bullshit. I get really jealous of people that have found their passion so early. I found mine in my 40s. Again, never too late. It's fine. Everything happens for a reason, so I know that. But I wanted to tell you what we call in Hinduism is called dharma. It's when your soul meets your passion, like why you're here, your purpose. And so I think it's amazing that you found your dharma so early.
How do you spell that?
DHARMA. I think it's a great next tattoo, by the way. DHA. RMA.
Dharma.
That's a Sanskrit word. And you'll Google it and it'll say duty, it'll say calling. But what our books really say is kind of your soul meets your passion kind of thing. And I was like, he should totally get that as a tattoo, just in case you were wondering what your next tattoo should be.
I'm always wondering that.
It's just
do next.
It's like karma. It's kind of a universal thing,
I see. No, that's great. I love that. Yeah. Jake gives me a lot of things like that. He speaks a lot of Hindu and talks about how things are connected and how he views things. I love hearing that from him a lot.
We haven't been in touch in a while, but while I was there, he was kind of like an older brother for me. He was just awesome guy, and I'm looking forward to coming back in a few weeks.
Yeah, we're working on a few projects together, actually.
Okay. Of course. It's Jay.
Yeah.
He probably hasn't aged, I'm sure.
No, not at all.
He's always been, I don't know, every time the 3 years I hung out with him, always positive, always smiling. Just a good aura, I think.
Yeah.
All right. So fast round. First thing that comes to your mind. Biggest pet peeve.
Water collected around a hand sink.
I hate that too, and I think it's kind of a mom. Ultimate collaboration for this year.
Duffy and Christian Dior.
The best concert, one, because I know you're a music person. The best concert you've ever been to and why?
Oh God. Oh Jesus. Black Sabbath a week and a half ago for my 50th birthday.
That's awesome.
It was a surprise for my 50th from my wife, and being able to spend the full day with her, enjoying the same music that we love, and be able to celebrate that with my friends and family was pretty awesome.
Were the kids with you?
Kids were not with us, but we spent 2 weeks with the kids in Europe prior to that. And I was able to spend some time with my children prior to that as well. So yeah, it was a great 50-year birthday.
That's amazing. On a side note, my older one is 11. My favorite thing to do now is take her to concerts. I don't know if you know old school 80s British wave. I took her to OMD recently.
I know the name. I don't know if I know the music.
It's if you leave, don't leave now.
Oh yeah.
Please.
OMD,
John
okay.
Hughes. Yeah. I know my singing is amazing. Anyways, it's one of my favorite things to do. I'm a concert whore.
I love concerts.
On a total, again, side note, because all I do besides podcasts is listen to music and play my guitars back there. Have you heard of Benson Boone? He's young. He's like 23, won a bunch of Grammys this year. I'm not going to sing his songs. There's a song, whenever you have time, called Mr. Electric Blue.
Mr. Electric Room?
Blue, like the color. And I know I've been listening to this song on repeat this week because I'm taking my daughter to the concert. And for some reason, it reminds me of you. I don't know why. I was reading your book too at the same time. I was like, this is totally his song, but I don't know why.
Mr. Electric Blue.
But listen to it and tell me what you think.
I will.
I know you mentioned in the book that you hate celebrity chefs, but you are willing to go back on a reality show and maybe even make like a music and food artist series kind of thing potentially. Give me a title. Based on? Like music playing with food, which I think is what you kind of wrote in the book.
Oh, man. Foodsician? I don't know.
I feel like that's such a dad thing to say. That's a dad comment.
I don't know. Yeah, that one's a hard one, actually.
I think when you pitch it, that should be maybe your fourth option.
Yeah, or not at all. At that point, I would have my team help me.
Yes, I know you have a team.
So I wouldn't embarrass myself again.
Maybe you'll call the 5 people on your team and let them know. Okay, so this is the last one, and you have to answer it. You can't say no. You can't say fuck off. You can't say anything. How much would I have to pay you to eat a green bell pepper? You have to give me a number.
The price isn't that high. It's not total hatred.
Like what? Like what would it be?
$1,000?
$1,000? And it has to be raw?
Oh, raw? We're talking different now. Now we're talking like a couple thousand.
Okay. All right.
If they're cooked, they're a little bit more tolerable.
So under 1,000 if they're cooked?
Yeah.
Over 1,000 if they're not?
Yeah, I hate it. They're gross. I love red bell peppers. I love orange and purple.
Isn't that kind of random?
When they're still green.
Why is it when they're green?
I don't know. It's the flavor profile still. They're not sweet anymore or at all. And they're sour. And it just brings me back to that childhood memory.
Yeah, that's true. That has to be it. Because you've had some pretty disgusting stuff.
Yeah. All over the world, I've had really interesting food.
Some of your food.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jigga, what is he eating?
Exactly. You're like, oh my God.
Like, I'm a big texture person. And if there's anything with the word snotty texture in it, I'm like, I almost threw up on I can't. There's no way.
Thought of it, right?
Oh,
yeah.
last question. I need to know because I have a mom brain now and don't remember anything. Your details on the food you have made for people over the years. How did you remember all of that? It's insane.
Well, it is very rare because it goes into a memory bank of like flavor like profiles.
Okay.
So yeah, it's it can easily be just like brought back out. But then there's also moments of time where Amy will say to me,
Yeah.
hey, that dish, we need to redo that for a photo. And I'm like, what dish are you even talking about? Like,
Right.
complete like disconnect. Like, I don't even know what you're even saying right now.
Right.
And she'll show me a picture about, oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Completely forgot about it. Kind of like that one back there.
Yeah, it looks cool. I don't know what
The
it
tomato dish.
is. Okay. Yeah,
I
was
think it
just
was
like,
part of the
wow.
opening menu, but
I can't remember anything. Like what happened last week. I can't. Yeah.
I know.
So
I'd bury a lot of the dishes. It's just like, all right, once it's off the menu, it kind of just,
yeah.
that's why it's like, I don't like to repeat the dishes. It's just
It's evolutionary
done, they're
innovator. Think about the term.
Yeah.
Evolutionary innovator.
Innovator.
You don't have to credit me if you don't want. Just throwing it out.
I just don't know if I want that title of always being like new and
Mm,
I'm not always trying to reinvent the wheel. What I'm trying to do is just make sure that what I am doing
that wheel is good.
is great.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be absolutely new every single time,
Right.
but it can be repeated and it has to be interesting from a guest perspective.
And you have to have fun.
And I have to be intellectually connected to it. Otherwise, like,
Intellectual. You know what? I'm not giving up. I'm just going to keep sending you guys ideas.
Yeah. Do it.
Okay,
Do it.
well, Curtis, I took up too much of your time. Sorry about the beginning. Thank you for doing
You're welcome.
this.
Thank you. Thanks.
Tuckered Out is hosted by me, Ami Tucker. This episode is produced by Genie Media with Jeannie Saraswati, Ashley Tuff, Micah Sweetman, Hans Andres, and Laura Radescu. You can follow me at Tuckered Out Podcast on Instagram. And please subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcast.